Hello, this is Brian, Cabin Fever Reselling. I got thinking today, this is my 28th year of reselling. That's a long time. Now to break that up a little bit, we haven't always sold things the same way. These days it's primarily eBay with a little bit of Facebook for larger items, but it wasn't always that way. But as a reseller, those 28 years, it seems like they've passed in the blink of an eye. Of course, we started with newspaper print ads even before Craigslist came along. And of course, we were living overseas before we retired and came back. So we returned just about the time eBay was created in the late 90s. I didn't use eBay a lot in those days because I had a lot more local outlets available to me, consignment stores, local auctions, in-person auctions, not the online type we use these days. Rose and I, we also had a series of part-time gigs, at least part-time for me. Rose would work 3-4 days a week and get nearly a 40-hour work week in. She worked at a medical office, and it gave her part of the social outlet she craved at the time. Me, I was about done with people when I first retired. So my idea of paradise in those days, at least for a while, was to go out to the land we owned, to the acreage, and work. Sometimes I wouldn't leave the property for a week, developing that property, building the log house. That was the first project Rose and I really started after getting Brandy ready to go off to college as a freshman. Well, Brandy's 45 now, so it's been a while. Her daughter just finished up her freshman year, and in a week or two will be going back to start her second year at college. So my truck will get hijacked to make that trip, because it seems that the kid has an enormous amount of stuff to fill her dorm room with, and auctions are a good place to get that stuff that a young person starting out in their own apartment, or in this case dorm, needs. It brought me around to the idea that in the 28 years I've been reselling, two of the most critical points are sourcing and listing, if you're going to sell online. If you're going to sell in a brick and mortar store, then it's sourcing and shelving the stock onto the display racks and the shelves where your customers can get at it. But the electronic equivalent is listing. Now, of course, we list these days on eBay, and the big stuff goes on Facebook. And I still occasionally list something on Craigslist if it's in a category I think people are still looking for, mostly tools and building material on Craigslist. But sourcing is my favorite, listing is my nemesis. Yesterday, we went out and did a consignment drop-off to put stuff into a local auction. And at the same time, I picked up some of the lots I bought. I actually bought more than I thought I had. When I printed out the list, I was even a little surprised. And when we're done with the coffee chat here, I'll show you a bit about what I bought and talk about why I bought it. All right, of the lots I picked up yesterday, here's one for a Werner multi-ladder, what we call articulated ladders. Basically, these hold the ladder open, provided a little more strength so that somebody's not injured. They come in a little storage case. I sold an awful lot of these over the years, mostly for the Gorilla line of ladders, but this one's a Werner, so we'll try that one out. Yeah, now here's a box of assorted vintage postcards. It's still sitting in the truck, so I'll get it out and look. What I'm curious to see is whether we're looking at unused old stock or a mix. But I've sold a lot of postcards. I usually sell them either in small groups of a half a dozen on the same theme, or sometimes a single card. And now that eBay standard envelope has come along, I'll have to look into whether or not postcards are something that can go in an eBay standard envelope. If they are, then I can keep the shipping down under $2, and that'll make the whole category more appealing. But I paid $15 for this large box. Here's a $7 group. That's $7 plus the buyer's premium. But this is a group of new old stock toys, Fortnite, Magic Show games, toys. I'll take a look at these. I don't have to make much profit on them, and then I'll turn around and take those that are a low value and group them together in one of our auctions when we run our next toy auction. A Dragon Ball Z shirt. Yeah, it's still a popular franchise. I paid $5 for this shirt. There won't be a lot of profit individually, but what I may do is put it up in one of our auctions along with some other Dragon Ball Z stuff I already have. Make a nice little lot up for somebody. Now I bought 3 lots like this, different titles in each lot, about 10 books in each lot, Native American theme, and what I do is I look through them for the old books like these down here that can sell on their own on eBay, and then I'll group the others up, sell them off as a lot. Never tried this particular brand of gaming headset, but at $6 in a sealed box, I thought there might be a little profit there. If I'm not investing too much, it's a good way to learn a new category or a new brand. Here's one on the opposite end of the line, electronics, vintage electronics bought purely for nostalgia. We'll give this guy some fresh batteries and see what he does. Now here's an example of getting in a lot. I paid $5 for this lot. What I was actually after is this greenish olive drab piece in the back, camelback type water bladder. This one happens to be a mil spec. You can see the mil spec right there. So that's military issue. But it came with a bunch of Matchbox type cars. There's a LeBron James figure. So I'll do the same thing. I'll pull out the camelback and mil spec water items, and then the others will probably go into some future auction lot of toys and related. Here's a dice game. I don't worry too much about these. They'll make me a little profit eventually one way or the other, but it was the camelback piece I was after. But we also took items out and dropped them off